I'm a graduate of NYBG and working on several floors. I'm a botanist. And I started using iNaturalist, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, and just fell in love with it and became kind of obsessed with it. And so here we're going to talk about what iNaturalist is. Just an intro. We're going to be talking about some basic things, but there's way more to it than what I'm going to talk about today. So I'll just go ahead and start. So what is iNaturalist? It's a global online network of people sharing biodiversity information. This contributes to the scientific community and helps people learn about nature. So I want to emphasize the global online network. People all over the world are using this. I have a colleague who collected a plant and put it on iNaturalist, and somebody in Australia contacted her and said he thinks it was a different species of the plant and had never been seen before here in the States. And then she found more of them and is going to write an article about it. So people from all over the place are looking at what you will potentially add to iNaturalist. And here's just a map showing all of the observations all over the world. And you can see there's 268 million and almost 4 million observers. So that people are doing this all over the place. And as I said, somebody in Africa might look at what you put up and be able to confirm it or deny it or whatever. So you do need to create an account for iNaturalist. That's the first step. Go to iNaturalist.org. This username and password will be used on your iPhone app as well. The accounts are connected. So I suggest starting on the website. And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is the website, because that is sort of it's a much deeper dive than your app. I like to use the analogy of the app is sort of a map that's folded and you only see a certain area, and then the website is more when you unfold the map and you see everything around it. So first you start with your profile. After you make your account, you start with your profile page. This can have as much or as little information as you would like to show. Some people I've seen put absolutely nothing on here, and other people write poetry, have lists of plants they've seen, they write paragraphs about who they are, or you could just have absolutely nothing. So that's up to you how much or how little you want to share. Your dashboard, which is once you sign up, when you go log on to iNaturalist, it'll go to your dashboard. And this is the entry point for all of your information and the information that lies within iNaturalist. This page also updates you on activity related to your and others' observations, and it shows news related to iNat links. So you can see at the top, there's all these options, and we're going to talk about a lot of these. But it shows your content, what you've done, what people have commented on what you've done. Over on the side, there are updates to news regarding what's going on in the iNaturalist community, and subscriptions to places, and we'll talk about that as well. Then you can look at your observations. These can be viewed in different formats and filtered by taxon, date, location, categories, or projects. So there's so much that can be done here. You can similarly search other people's observations, and you can see at the top there, you can search within your observations, species, location. There are filters that you can specify, dates, things like that. And so you can look at your observations as a grid, as a list, as a map. You can keep track of where you've been and what you've seen. So this is a map of my observations since I've been using iNaturalist. So you can see, I can look and see, oh, I've, been here in Iceland and Germany and you can, and then you can zoom in to where you were and see what you've done in a certain place. So there's a local view as well. So this is Rockefeller State Park Preserve, where I am working on a project, and these are all my observations there. So I can see here on this map where I've been, where I haven't been. It's very useful for that kind of thing. Maps help create a visual journal of where you've been because your iPhone records your location. You can see where you've been via your iNet observations. So this is a 3-day hike I did in Olympic National Park. Anytime that you do a hike or go somewhere, as long as you're taking pictures and making observations, you can go to your map and see where you were. So this is, I can see the route that we took and where we were. There are annotations on the page for your observations. These are very important. Among other things, annotations show phenology, which is the study of when. For example, when is a plant in a specific area flowering or fruiting? With this rapidly changing climate, this information is in flux, and scientists can see when and where plants are growing and where they are moving to. And what I mean by that is because the planet is warming, a lot of plants in our zone are moving north, and plants from the south are moving north. So this kind of shows where plants are growing at this time. And so you can see in this annotation box when you have an observation, it's very important to make sure you click on whether it's flowering or fruiting, and that way people can filter when they're looking up a certain plants that are flowering at this certain time or whatever. It narrows down the search. iNaturalist is not just for plants; it's for everything in the natural world. So insects, fungi, mammals, anything that is, not cultivated or tamed, like pets or whatever. And so here is an example of a monarch butterfly, and I was able to, in the annotations, it's alive. The evidence of presence is the organism. It's an adult. It's a male. So somebody who's studying monarchs can filter by all of those things and would find this observation. Identifications, you can help others with their identifications. If you are familiar with a particular genus or species, you can help others with their observations and contribute to research grade status, but only if you can independently verify. Don't agree on something if you're not sure. Don't agree on something because you think that person knows what they're talking about. I only will agree with something if I can absolutely see that it's what I think it is. Yeah, and so with these identifications, you can identify certain species. So let's say you are very familiar with monarch butterflies. You can put in that species, you can put in the place. You can say, I am familiar with monarch butterflies in New York State. You can put those in, filter it, and that's what you'll see, and then you can help create research grade observations. Research grade is important for many reasons, and one is that once it is research grade, which means it's just been agreed on by the community. It's shared with what's called GBIF, which is the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, which is an open access database and infrastructure that scientists from all over the world use. And so this information is not only on iNaturalist, which scientists use, but it's also in other databases as well. And here's a screenshot of the iNaturalist observations on GBIF. That's pretty impressive. Projects are designed to track and display a set of observations, a specific set of determinations. This could include those made within a certain location or made by a specific set of people, such as for a class. You can join existing projects or make one of your own. So I've made projects related to our town. I've made them related to a certain area in our town. There's 100-acre wood nearby. I made a project for that so that anytime somebody goes in and makes an observation in that area, it will filter into this project so we can see what's growing there at any time. And there are different kinds of projects. There's a lot of them. From beach spiders to mushroom microscopy. This shows a screenshot of the Rockefeller State Park Preserve project, so you can see all of the observations are just in that area. So it's very helpful to see other people's observations, especially my project because I'm collecting plants and I need to find certain ones. And if somebody puts up an observation of a plant that I don't have yet, I can find it through that observation, which is very helpful. You can subscribe and follow people if you want. You don't have to. You can subscribe to a project or a taxon. I have subscribed to a few different things you can see there. And again, this is a screenshot from Rockefeller State Park Preserve. You can see what observations have been made in a certain place. Or let's say you want to subscribe to all the monarchs in New York City. You can subscribe to a very specific taxon and place, and you will see what has been added with that. You can follow people, friends, or scientists, see what others are observing and learn from them. There are many scientists using iNaturalist, and their observations are for all to see and study. Follow your friends to see where they are, what they are looking at, and where they are observing. You don't have to follow anybody, but I think it's helpful to follow people. There are scientists on here, I'm following people I've never met before, who are just scientists that I find interesting. There's a couple people who I follow because their photographs are outstanding. So that's kind of an interesting thing to do. You can learn a lot on this website. It's way more than just adding your observations or seeing others' observations. Here's an example of a plant where once you go to more info on the plant, you can click on About, and it'll give you basically what it does is it goes to the Wikipedia entry, but on the side here, there's more info, and this will take you to all these different websites that will link right to about this plant. So you can learn a lot about any plant, animal, as I said, fungi, anything from the website. And it's also available from up here, taxa info on the top layer. You can make observations and upload from your computer at home. This is what I usually do. I spend time outside. I identify and photograph plants and come home and download everything, look at all of my photographs, get rid of the blurry ones, get rid of the junky ones, get rid of the repetitive ones, and then add observations from my computer. I find it much easier and just generally better to do it that way than in the field. For one thing, you need a really good internet connection for iNaturalist, and that can be frustrating because a lot of places that you go, out in the woods don't have a very good connection. So I photograph everything, I come home, I look at everything, and then I upload. You can do it either way. So then the iNaturalist app is great. So that you're out in the woods, you're photographing, it's on your phone, and it's connected to your to the website. So it's on both places. How to photograph for iNaturalist. Take more than one photograph. I can't stress that more. I get so frustrated when people take one picture and put it, unless it's a very unique plant or that can't be, confused with anything else, or, it's obviously some kind of an animal or whatever. Um, Always take more than one photograph. I mean, with animals and with birds, it's not as easy, but with plants, they're not going anywhere. Take a lot of photographs. Shoot from different angles, showing as much information as possible. Show overall structure, leaf structure, texture, flowers if available, seeds if available, environment. Think about how you would identify a plant and try to illustrate those morphologies. So in this example, it's a persicaria. I show the flower structure. I show what's called the ochrea, which I know happen to know that in this genus, that is a key identifying feature. It is an aquatic plant, so I showed it in water. I showed the environment. So all of these illustrations can easily make it identifiable, and that's the important part. Sometimes I will look up a plant after I've identified it and see what is a key identifying feature. Sometimes it has to do with if the leaf is hairy or not, or if the leaf structure, opposite, alternate leaf structure. So sometimes it helps to look up the plant and see what those things are, and then be able to illustrate them. So, what is a bad observation? One where there is little information. In this example, the observer took only one image of a plant, and even the photo algorithm couldn't guess. So this is a quote unquote bad observation, meaning that all right, it's a grass, but like we can't tell anything about it. So what is a good observation? One where there is ample information, as I was saying before, several photos showing the morphology of the organism so others can confirm or deny the identification. And that happens plenty, and that's good. I mean, it's a community of people. A lot of people will, who know a lot about a certain plant will be like, no, this is not what you think it is. It's this because of these reasons. So these create the research grade observations that are verifiable. And to have a research grade observation, you have to have certain things, date. It has to be georeference, which means latitude and longitude coordinates. It has to have photos or sounds, and it's not captive or cultivated. So that's important. So the phone's camera's metadata will create place, time, latitude, longitude. If you're using a digital camera, oftentimes you can, in the settings, make sure it has the georeferencing set. You can upload older photographs. Let's say you have slides from the 1980s. You can scan those, upload them, as long as you know where they were photographed. When you're uploading, you can add that information. So here's examples of that plant, Lobelia inflata. It has, showing the flower structure, showing the leaf structure, making, there's the stem is hairy, make sure you see that. So those are, get different angles of things. I sometimes go a little bit too far. I say take more than one photograph. Usually 4 or 5 is good. Sometimes I do 10. It's a little overkill, but I always feel like the more information, the better. So this is what you're going to see on your phone, iNet observation icons. So when you download, so there's also to keep in mind, there's two. If you have an older iNaturalist, it's now called, I think, iNaturalist Classic, and then there's a new iNaturalist, which is just called iNaturalist because they did a big improvement. They changed the app quite a lot. So now when you open up your app, you'll see at the bottom there is, when you click on this plus sign, you'll get these icons. And you can use the AI camera. The AI camera is actually really good. So when you use that, you're pointing your phone at a plant or an animal or whatever. And that's basically kind of just going to tell you what they think it is. So that's sort of good for just identification. And then the camera app is you'll actually take photographs through the app, and that will prompt you to make an observation through your phone, or you could say upload later. The gallery pictures from your photos, gallery, you can upload from there. So you can do everything on your phone. You don't have to do it on your computer. I just think it's a lot easier to see what you're doing on your computer. There's the sound recording. I know in the spring I always record the spring peepers and get that recording. And then this one, the no evidence observation. At first I thought, why is that there? And then one day I was in the woods and a pileated woodpecker flew by me. That's one of those really big woodpeckers, like Woody Woodpecker. And I identified it immediately. I could see what it is, but I couldn't get a picture of it or a sound of it. But I was able to put up an observation of where and when I saw it. So, but there was no evidence, there was no pictures or sound, but that still is a valid observation. So that I realized that that is helpful. What to photograph for iNaturalist? Do's and don'ts. Do's, wild animals, spontaneously growing plants. So obviously not tulips in your yard that you planted. Insects, fungi, birds, wild organisms. Don'ts. Humans, don't take pictures of your kids. Pets, don't take pictures of your cats or dogs. I suppose if a cat is wild, like a feral cat, that would be legit. Don't take pictures of cultivated gardens unless marked accordingly. So there is a way in on the page of your observation to mark not wild, and that will show that it's a cultivated plant or something like that. So no farm animals, no mounted specimens, no captive organisms. So, a fish in a tank, don't do that. But everything else is fair game. So Seek is another app by iNaturalist. They're connected to each other. This is a kid-friendly, privacy-focused tool for identifying the natural world around you. You don't have to create an account or share any personal information. The data is stored on your device only. However, you can link this app to your iNaturalist account if you'd like to. That's something that you can do in the Seek app. This is a really great app to use with kids. For iNaturalist, you have to be 13 plus to have an account because I guess it's a social website, but Seek is not. And it's great for classes, for young kids. So the difference between iNaturalist and Seek. iNaturalist is an online community that allows you to share observations, to discuss, identify, and create research quality citizen science data for science and conservation. Each observation includes your username, date, and location of the observation. So there's a lot of information there. Although you can make your observations private. There's a lot of people who don't want their information out there. But the point of this website and app is to be part of this community of naturalists. But you can do that. When you make an observation, you can make it private. You can make the location obscured, which is a good thing for vulnerable plants or animals. If you find a plant that is rare and you don't want other people to know where it is, you can make it private or obscured so that people don't go and poach it. That's, when you find orchids, people are crazy about orchids. So a lot of times if I find an orchid, I'll obscure it. The iNaturalist community helps to identify and confirm observations, and you must be 13 or older to make an account. So Seek allows curious naturalists of all ages to earn badges and participate in challenges to observe organisms with on-screen identification using computer vision for identifications based on data from iNaturalist. So as I said, they are connected. It's the same company. It uses the same information from iNaturalist. Seek observations stay on your phone. No personally identifiable information is collected from users. Identifications do not leave your device or require internet to work. But they are also not confirmed by the iNaturalist community. So, so it's like I said, it's good for projects with kids or classes, I think, or yourself if you don't want to be part of the community. In Seek, you can earn species badges and challenge badges. They will do, it's kind of like little games. It's kind of like that game where I can't remember, where you're finding little, it's a kid's game where you find animals or whatever. Taxonomy, you can earn badges by finding different taxons. And taxonomy is how scientists group living things and is the basis for how organisms are grouped in both iNaturalist and Seek. Challenge badges, similar kind of thing. It's kind of like, it's like playing games. You can participate in challenges at your own pace. Some have requirements, i.e., the number of observations, and each observation will count to all challenges. Final word. It's not always right. Always double check your work. Seek and iNaturalist use a computer-generated algorithm and AI that is not infallible. Bring along your favorite field guide or do research when you get home. I spend a lot of time when I get home looking at books and at websites to make sure what I'm putting up there is correct. Sometimes iNaturalist is very wrong, but oftentimes it will point you in the right direction.